Have you ever skipped a trade, then watch it run perfectly in your direction, and the moment you finally enter the next trade, the market destroys you? Well, congratulations. You are trapped in what's called the FOMO loop. Every trader experiences this. It's not something that only beginners experience. If you are even if you're an experienced trader, you've been trading in the market since a long time, you go through this loop. I've seen best of the best traders, and for reference, you can go to, there's a trader, I might be spelling him wrong, but if you go to this guy's YouTube channel, he has a recent video on how he lost around $30,000 rupees just because of this mistake, right? So what is this mistake? What happens is, let's say the market is going upwards, right? And we'll just make this green, it's going upwards, or yahan pe you want to take a long, right? This is where you want to take a long on this breakout. Let's say this is your setup, so to say. Now what happens is, due to some reason you don't take it. What are those reasons? Well, they can be a lot. For one, they can be that your setup is not 100% aligned with your checklist, right? This can be one reason. Meaning, let's say your checklist consists of a huge candle breakout. Like if this breakout is there, it should have a huge volume, let's say a huge volume, but over here you didn't see a huge volume, right? You just saw a good breakout, so that lost, let's say, 20% of your checklist. That was one of the most important, or 25%, which is 1/4 of your checklist. This can be one reason. So this is sort of a genuine reason for you to not take a trade. Second reason can be you were just afraid. Third reason can be the stop loss was too big, right? Now, why am I mentioning random reasons? Mainly because the reason doesn't have to be right or wrong. What is right or wrong reasons? Right reasons are like the one over here that we discussed, that it didn't align with your checklist. Just a minute. Right, it didn't align with your checklist, and that's why you didn't take it. That's a right reason. A wrong reason can be that you were scared. Fear is a wrong reason. What if this is a wrong trade? So you wait, and then what happens? The market moves exactly how you predicted. Now, because of this, what happens is your brain flips. You feel regret, frustration, and sort of urgency. And suddenly, after this, you no longer trade based on technicality. You trade purely emotionally. पूरी तरह से आप emotional हो जाते हो. You don't see a valid setup thereafter. You don't wait patiently. You take the wrong trades. Now, how does this FOMO loop occur? Well, as I explained, step 1, you see a valid setup. Step 2, you hesitate and skip it. Step 3, the trade becomes profitable. And when it does not become profitable, that is also a problem, because then you think of it as a reward for not taking the trade. Then step 5 comes regret and frustration. And step 6, you take an impulsive trade thereafter. Now what happens because of this? The market punishes you, right? Now you end up losing money, and the cycle begins again. So it's sort of like a loop. Miss a trade, and then it works out, and then you take a wrong trade, and then you feel bad for it, so you take another trade to fix these two trades, and then you lose money again. And thereafter, if you don't stop here, right? In fact, if you don't start only here, but let's say you don't stop here, you again go on to this whole loop. And then sometimes you also miss an actual good trade, because by now you have lost it all. You have lost your daily risk limit, you have lost your mind. So let's say another valid setup comes like this, right? Over here, let's say you get another breakout setup. You tend to not take it because you messed up a lot of times over here. Now let's talk about one more psychological reason why this happens. This happens simply, and I personally face this a lot, is because our brain hates missed opportunities more than losses. It's also called the loss aversion. Missing a profitable trade feels like losing money, even though you never risked anything. So your brain tries to compensate immediately, and that compensation, most of the times, like 95% of the times, never works out. It turns out to be a bad one. So how do we fix it then? How do we come about fixing this problem? Well, first thing you have to understand is missing trades is a part of the game. Missing trades is a part of the game. You are going to miss at least 2, 3, I don't know, depends on your number of trades you take, but let's say you're going to miss around 20 or 30% of your trades initially. Maybe as you go on about, this percentage will reduce, but initially you are going to miss out on 20 to 30% of your trades. So it's better to accept the loss or accept the missed trade rather than giving the market a loss. This is the first thing you need to understand. Now, how do we break the FOMO loop? How to break FOMO loop? First thing, have a checklist. This is the most important thing. Now, what is a checklist? Like, you can have, let's say, one thing is daily bias clear? Is the market bullish or bearish? Right? Are you clear about which side the market is going? Then let's say you trade a smart money concept. So was liquidity grabbed? Then you can ask, how was the candle close? Is your SL defined? Whatever it is, we will discuss trading checklist or the kind of trading checklist you can have in some other video. But for now, just for an example, step 1 is to have your checklist defined, right? And this checklist, once, let's say, all or at least 80% of the checklist is ticked, depending on also which importance one has. Let's say once 80% checklists is ticked, you don't think, you don't debate, you only execute. Step 2, let's say even after all this you do miss a trade, right? What you do is you don't link to the win or loss. You don't link the trade to win or loss, meaning if the trade works out, you don't regret. If the trade doesn't work out, you don't celebrate. You only think of it as a trade. You only think of it as an opportunity that passed away, because the trade that you never took was actually never yours. The market would print thousands of opportunities every time, and you know that. You have the whole year, you have a lot of time. Even if you think you don't, you actually do have a lot of time, right? If you're missing opportunities, meaning opportunities are there, so just chill out. Now, once you accept it, or let's say you're not able to accept the mistake, what you do, you just shut the system. You go out for however long it takes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever time it takes for you to reset yourself, you do that. Now you may say, but if I go out in these hours, I'll miss an opportunity, right? Well, I'll tell you what, you may miss another opportunity, right? But if you don't go out and you haven't accepted the mistrade, you will definitely either ways never be able to take this another opportunity that you missed. Why? Because now you are not in a correct stable mental state. Now you're just frustrated. So till this second opportunity comes into play, you're going to take one wrong trade, then second wrong trade, then probably third wrong trade, and then by the time this comes, you just don't have the guts left to execute this trade. So what's good? What is always good than losing money is to let money be idle. Always remember this. Let money be idle rather than losing it. Okay. So this is how you go about with FOMO loop. Just give yourself some time. Never, and I mean never, take a trade after you feel you've missed a trade and you just regret it. This is one thing that you have to absolutely remember. Have a checklist. If your checklist follows 80% of the checks of the ticks, then you execute your trade without any emotions. Now, in the end, I would like to tell you that most traders don't lose or not make money because they lack knowledge. They simply lose money or are unable to create money because they cannot control their emotions. You all know this, and this applies to me as well, right? Most of the times when I lose money, I would say 60% of it is because of emotions, and the rest 40% is because of the win rate of the setup. So just keep learning and keep getting better. All for now. I'll see you in the next one.